Daniel John Danny Higginbotham is a former professional footballer who played as a defender. Born in Manchester, Higginbotham started his career at his local side Manchester United. He made 7 appearances at Old Trafford as well as a loan spell with Belgium side Royal Antwerp before joining Derby County in order to play more matches. He spent 3 years at the Rams, but handed in a transfer request when the club was relegated from the Premier League. Southampton moved to sign Higginbotham for £1.5 million in February 2003, and he helped the South Coast side reach the 2003 FA Cup final. When Southampton were relegated in 2005, Higginbotham rejected a new contract and was placed on the transfer list. He joined fellow Championship side Stoke City for £225,000 in August 2006. He was made captain when Michael Dewberry left in January 2007 and Stoke went on to narrowly miss out on a playoff place. With Stoke not being promoted, Higginbotham again decided to hand in a transfer request to help force through a move to Sunderland. He spent 1 season at the Stadium of Light before returning to Stoke in 2008. He became a vital member of Tony Pulis' squad as Stoke established themselves in the Premier League. He scored the winning goal in the FA Cup quarter-final against West Ham United, but injury meant he missed out on both the semi-final and the final. After his recovery, he struggled to force his way back into the side and spent time out on loan to Nottingham Forest and Ipswich Town before joining Sheffield United on a free transfer in January 2013. After spending 8 months at Bramall Lane, he left to join Conference side Chester before ending his career with a short spell at Attribution. Born in England, Higginbotham made his international debut for the Gibraltar national football team in a friendly against Slovakia in November 2013 at the age of 34, qualifying through his maternal grandmother. In January 2014, Higginbotham retired from club football after a long career, but made 2 more international appearances for Gibraltar until his international retirement in March 2014. Playing career: born in Manchester, Greater Manchester, Higginbotham grew up in Altrincham, but despite passing his 11+ exam he was denied entry into Altrincham Grammar School for boys. His elder brother played non-league football for Witton Albion. Manchester United. He started his career at Manchester United, but was not highly rated during the first year of his apprenticeship and his career was almost ended when he broke his femur in a BT match. However, he recovered well from the injury and was given a 2-year professional contract in 1998. He made his Premier League debut on May 10, 1998, coming on for Michael Clegg's 60 minutes into a 2-0 win over Barnsley at Oakwell. He was sent to Belgian second division side Royal Antwerp on a loan spell. He got off to a bad start at the club and asked to return to Old Trafford after being abused by Antwerp supporters outside the Bosuil Stadium and had to be talked into staying by manager Reggie van Acker. Following this start, the club then won 15 games in a row and Higginbotham became a popular player with the fans. However, following defeat in a playoff game, Higginbotham was banned from football for a year for his involvement in an attack on referee Amand Ancion by teammate Ronnie Warwark. A Belgian court reduced Higginbotham's ban to 4 months. Ancion maintained that Warwark had grabbed him by the throat and that Higginbotham had head-butted him. Higginbotham always maintained his innocence, stating that he had tried to intervene peacefully after Warwark had confronted Ancion in an aggressive manner. Alex Ferguson believed in the players' innocence and handed both players 4-year contracts as the club appealed their suspensions. Higginbotham played 6 games for United during the 1999 Euro 2000 season, including appearances in the UEFA Champions League and at the Maracana Stadium in the FIFA Club World Championship. He made his full debut in a 3-0 defeat to Aston Villa at Villa Park on October 13, in what was described as a blow to the credibility of the League Cup as United had fielded a number of young players. He suffered with concussion during the game after a clash of heads with Dion Dublin. He failed to break into the first team on a regular basis as Dennis Irwin, Michael L. Sylvester and Phil Neville were all preferred ahead of him at left back. Derby County. Higginbotham's desire to play regular first-team football led to him making a £2 million move to Derby County, a large sum for a young player with just 4 top-flight games to his name. his decision to leave Manchester United was praised by the player he failed to displace, Dennis Irwin. Higginbotham made his debut in a 2-2 draw with Southampton, and had a good start to his Derby career until he was substituted at half-time during his third appearance after struggling to contain Everton's Nicholas Alexanderson. Manager Jim Smith soon switched to a new system without any fullbacks, but Higginbotham adapted well to playing on the left side of a three-man defence. Derby avoid relegation out of the Premier League on the penultimate day of the 2000-01 season with a 1-0 victory over former club Manchester United at Old Trafford. He began the 2001-02 season on the left side of central defence despite Smith reverting to a 4-4-2 formation. Smith was sacked after a poor start, but his replacement Colin Todd failed to improve the club's form, and Todd was sacked and replaced with John Gregory, with similarly poor results. Higginbotham scored his first goal in English football on March 16, converting a penalty to secure a 3-1 victory over Bolton Wanderers after striker Fabrizio Ravanelli backed out of taking the penalty. This would prove to be the last win of a relegation campaign, with the only remaining positive to the season for Higginbotham coming when he was voted as the Fans Player of the Year. On August 17, 2002, he collided badly with Grimsby Town forward Steve Livingston and knocked Livingston unconscious. This left Livingston with a skull fracture injury that would see him out of action for a couple of months. It was expected that Higginbotham would eventually move unless Derby did well enough to gain promotion back to the Premier League, and so in January 2003, with Derby struggling in Division 1, he moved to Southampton on loan, joining permanently in February. Southampton. Following Derby's relegation from the Premier League, Higginbotham moved to Southampton in January 2003 on loan until the end of the 2002-03 season. The move was made permanent in February 2003 for a fee of £1.5 million. He featured in the Saints FA Cup run in 2002-03, playing once in the fifth round against Norwich City, but was an unused substitute for the final against Arsenal. The 2003-04 campaign was a difficult one for the club, and Gordon Strachan tendered his resignation in March. Higginbotham felt that his replacement, Paul Sturrock, was unable to handle the pressure at St Mary's, but denied press rumours that Sturrock had lost the confidence of the players. Steve Wigley took charge for the 2004-05 season and the club's decline only continued. Wigley demoted Higginbotham to the reserves after following a falling out between the pair, though he soon reversed the decision and returned him to the first team. Harry Redknapp replaced Wigley as manager in December but failed to arrest the decline, and Southampton were relegated in last place. Higginbotham had scored the equalising goal in the penultimate game of the season at Crystal Palace, but a final day defeat to Manchester United left Southampton 2 points from safety. George Burley took over from Redknapp in December 2005, though neither manager was unable to put together an effective promotion campaign and Southampton ended the season 12th in the Championship. Higginbotham rejected a new contract and as a result was placed on the transfer list in July 2006. He told the local press that he felt disrespected the way Southampton chairman Rupert Lowe had handled his contract. He had taken a pay cut to move from Derby, a 40% pay cut following relegation, and then the new contract offer was lower still than his then current contract. Stoke City. Higginbotham joined Stoke City on August 3, 2006 for an initial fee of £225,000, and quickly cemented a regular place in Tony Pulis's starting lineup. He began the 2006-07 season at left-back, but soon established himself at centre-back after initially filling in for Clint Hill following Hill's sending off at Wolverhampton Wanderers on September 23. Pulis gave Stoke a reputation as a Battersea Dogs home club, and Higginbotham proved to be a typical signing in this regard as he felt unwanted at Southampton and said that his career had been reinvigorated by the move to the Britannia Stadium. The Potters went 7 games without conceding a goal, and during this run Higginbotham scored the only goal of the game against local rivals West Bromwich Albion after deposing Carlo Hofkens as the club's penalty taker. In February 2007, he was awarded the club captaincy following Michael Duberry's departure to Reading. Over the course of the campaign he scored a career-high 7 goals in his 46 appearances. Though Stoke narrowly missed out on the playoffs, a successful personal campaign culminated in Higginbotham being voted the club's Player of the Year. Sunderland. On August 28, 2007 it was announced that a bid from Sunderland had been accepted by Stoke City, after Higginbotham had handed a transfer request to the club. Higginbotham wrote in his autobiography that Pulis would only authorise the deal if he handed in a transfer request. Higginbotham signed a 4-year deal with Sunderland the following day, moving for a fee of £2.5 million, possibly rising to £3 million dependent on appearances. He said that the chance to play Premier League football under Roy Keane was too good to refuse. On November 10, 2007, Higginbotham scored the opening goal for Sunderland, which was believed to come off his ear in a 1-1 draw with arch-rivals Newcastle United at the Stadium of Light. He was only a bit-part player by the start of the 2008-09 season, and Keane allowed him to return to Stoke for the same fee that he paid to Stoke. Return to Stoke City. Higginbotham rejoined Stoke, now in the Premier League, in September 2008 for a fee of £2.5 million. On October 19, Higginbotham scored his first goal of his second spell, a penalty in a 2-1 win over Tottenham Hotspur. He was the first choice at left-back for manager Tony Pulis, playing in 28 league matches as the team successfully fought for survival. However, he missed the final 5 games of the season due to a slip disc. He later underwent surgery. With the summer signing of Danny Collins, Higginbotham was dropped to the bench. However, he regained his place in the Stoke side, mainly being utilised in his more natural position in the centre of defence, and scored the first goal in a 3-0 win over Blackburn Rovers on February 8, 2010. He was praised by first-team coach Mark O'Connor for reclaiming his place in the side. He started the first game of the 2010-11 season away at Wolverhampton Wanderers, but was dropped for the next match in favour of Collins. Higginbotham signed a contract extension in October 2010 for a further 12 months, keeping him at Stoke until 2013. He made his 200th top-flight appearance against Manchester United on October 24. He struggled with injury for the rest of the first half of the season, and was in and out of the first team. We wanted to cement Danny's future with the club because he is such a good professional, and it is important we look after certain players at the football club who started all this off. I've got a lot of time for Danny because he is one who falls into that category. He may not be in the side on a regular basis at the moment, but he still has a crucial role to play, as do a number of other players in a similar situation. The fabric of a football club is made up of the whole cloth, not bits and pieces, so we are delighted Danny will remain a part of that. Following his contract extension, Higginbotham stated that he wanted to end his career at Stoke. He scored a rare league goal in January 2011 against Bolton Wanderers. He scored his first FA Cup goal of his career in a quarter-final win against West Ham United. It proved to be the winning goal, thus earning Stoke their first semi-final appearance for 39 years. He scored an identical goal against Newcastle United the following week. However, in the next league match against Chelsea, Higginbotham sustained a cruciate knee ligament injury, ruling him out for 6 months. Pulis spoke of his disappointment in losing Higginbotham, but also stressed he would play a key role in the final few games of the season due to his influence in the dressing room. Higginbotham later admitted that missing the final made him jealous of his teammates. Higginbotham targeted to return from his knee injury by October 2011. He marked his return from his knee injury by scoring the only goal in a 1-0 reserve team win over Sheffield United on October 11, 2011. However, after failing to force his way back into the first team, Higginbotham joined Nottingham Forest on loan until the end of the season on January 31, 2012. Upon signing for Forest, Higginbotham admitted that he was unsure of his future at Stoke. He was backed by Thomas Sorensen to make a return to Stoke's first team. On March 10, 2012, Higginbotham scored his first goal for a year when he scored the second for Forest in a 3-1 home win over Millwall. His loan spell with Forest was ended early due to injury. Higginbotham joined Ipswich Town on a one-month loan on September 21, 2012, which was later extended until January 2013. He was expected to extend his loan until the end of the season, but Higginbotham rejected the deal, saying he wanted to be based closer to his home, and left Portman Road having played 12 games. After his move to Sheffield United, Higginbotham has stated that his 6-year spell at Stoke City was the best years of his career. Later career. On January 1, 2013, Higginbotham signed for Sheffield United on a 6-month contract, and made his debut for the club against South Yorkshire rivals Doncaster Rovers the same day. Former Stoke City teammate and current Sheffield United teammate Dave Kitson played a part in Higginbotham's move to Bramall Lane. Higginbotham stated on his move to the club, "I was getting ready to go back to Ipswich on Sunday, but after speaking to Dave I was optimistic something would be sorted here, and thankfully it was. I was very surprised and very happy when I got a phone call on Sunday to say that something could be happening here, Sheffield United. Dropping into League One isn't a worry for me because this is a club on the up, and I didn't want to be stuck at Stoke just picking my money up because that isn't me." On June 18, 2013, having made sufficient first-team appearances for Sheffield United, Higginbotham activated a clause in his contract to extend it for the following season. On August 29, 2013, Higginbotham joined Chester on a one-year deal after falling out of the Sheffield United first team. After making 17 appearances for Chester, Higginbotham left the club in order to forge a media career. After leaving Chester, Higginbotham signed for Altrincham, as he wished to continue playing on a part-time basis with fewer travel commitments. Higginbotham had previously stated it was an ambition of his to play for Altrincham, as he had supported them as a boy. He announced his retirement from football on January 8, 2014. International career. Born in England, Higginbotham was eligible to play for the Gibraltar national team through his maternal grandmother. The former Gibraltar manager, Alan Bula, is his uncle. Higginbotham made his international debut in Gibraltar's first ever match as a UEFA member, a 0-0 draw in a friendly against Slovakia, on November 19, 2013. He was praised for his performance and was named man of the match. Personal life. In February 2013, Higginbotham began to write his own column in the Sentinel, a local newspaper in the North Staffordshire and South Cheshire area. He released his autobiography in April 2015, entitled, Rise of the Underdog. His firstborn child, Jack, was born in 2001. His second child, Jessica, was born on October 12, 2003. He split with the mother of his first two children in 2008. In 2010 he married Nicole, an American woman, who gave birth to his third child, Joshua, in 2011. Career statistics. Club career statistics International career statistics Honours. Club Manchester United, Intercontinental Cup, 1999, Southampton, FA Cup runner-up, 2003, Stoke City, FA Cup runner-up, 2011. Individual Derby County Player of the Year, 2001, a Euro 02, Stoke City Player of the Year, 2006, a Euro 07. References, specific. General, Higginbotham, Danny. Barton, Wayne, Rise of the Underdog, Trinity Mirror, ISBN 978-1-908695-99-4. External links, Danny Higginbotham Career Statistics at Soxabase.